Hello everyone, I'm excited to announce the new series here, or not announce because we're starting right now, but this is the Russia guide, the ultimate Russia guide. I'm going to go through basically all the coverage metas, everything you can think of, and try to make it understandable to people who are, newer at Russia, learning Russia, that kind of stuff. So it's going to be kind of simplified, but also kind of detailed at the same time. So that's kind of what I'm trying to go for here. So first we have A-type antenna, the short A-type antenna, I should say. And we have four clusters here, so we only really have four main clusters to remember here. So it's not too bad. At first, we need to find out how do we identify an A-type antenna. So we're just going to click on a random lock here. We'll click on this road here, and we'll full screen. And we'll zoom in on this short antenna here. And as you can see, we basically have this little like clump or little bulge, I guess, on the right side of the antenna. And that is going to be how you identify the short A-type antenna. And of course, this antenna is actually short as well. There are long antennas as well, but this one's a short one. And the bulge is on the right there, which means it's going to be A-type. Now, there is a variant later called C-type where that right side bulge is like further down on the antenna, but that'll be different. This is pretty far up on the antenna, as you can see. So that's how you'd identify A-type antenna. And now we will go into the main clusters where these things occur. So I wanted to go over this one first. I'm not really sure why. I just wanted to. So if we look here, this is the kind of Orberg cluster is basically what I'll call it. I mean, obviously there's some outside of Orberg, but it's like fairly similar, I guess. So yeah, Orberg, I would say it has a lot of these like tree linings that are in autumn coverage. So this is September coverage specifically. So this is pretty far into the fall at this point. So a lot of the leaves are very, very orange. And this is all just very visible throughout Orberg A-type coverage. It's also very flat. Here we have sunflowers, it seems, which is interesting. There is a bit of hills in Orberg, though. You can usually see some hills in Orberg as well. But yeah, that's just one example. There aren't a lot of birches in Orberg from what I've noticed. I've just like looked around in the coverage. Doesn't seem to be a lot of birches or anything. As you can see, the fall coverage is still very apparent here as well. Now, these clusters over here, these like little bits over here, are honestly kind of difficult. Like this is July coverage, and it's an urban lock. I'm not gonna lie, if you get these, you're probably hopeless almost. I mean, I'm sure there's ways to get it. I'm not really familiar with the ways to get these, but they do exist in case you want to go for a gamble. But yeah, and then these are August coverage, these two right here. So, if you're feeling it, I guess. But yeah, those are, I don't really know what to do for those, to be honest with you guys, but for Krasnodar here, so this is the southern cluster essentially, and we'll go into a lock here. So these are August coverage, so you're not going to see the like very distinct orange that occurs in Orberg. It might be a tad bit orange, but it's only like late summer coverage essentially. One key feature about this, I feel like, is it is flat. It's more like agricultural. Like I've seen a lot of corn in these locks. If I go to a different lock here, maybe I'll see corn. No, but it always has these like fields of just like, yeah, like kind of emptiness, but or corn. And then obviously it's not as distinctly orange as the Orberg coverage. Another feature is that if you're ever having a 50-50 between the south and the north, always look for birch trees. And this is true in every type of coverage in Russia. Always look for birch trees. As you can see, none of the locks we've had so far have any birch trees. They're just these kind of like very dark brown trees. Yeah, there's just no birch trees anywhere really. So that's going to be a good tool for any type of coverage, just identifying if you're north or south. We also have a kind of hilly lock down here, but it's, as you can see, it's very green. You couldn't ever confuse it with a hilly Orberg because it's very green, while Orberg is very dead looking, more orange. It's just not quite the same. Looks like we got some sunflowers there, but okay, this you could confuse with Orberg. I could see this being confused with Orberg a little bit here, but maybe just looks a little more southern. Not really sure why, but I think it's the greenness is really the thing with that. Like I don't think it's okay. It's a little green here, but it's a little more dead, I feel like. But yeah, it can be a hard 50-50 sometimes, but we'll move into the next cluster, which is southwest of Moscow. And guys, I have a good one for this one, okay? If you're ever confused, just send southwest of Moscow, honestly. Because, like, the thing is, most of the coverage is here. Most of the coverage is in southwest Moscow. So it's a good bet anyway. And as you can see, this is where we start seeing birch trees. You can see them back there, just the white trees in the background. I think they're more apparent in other locks here. Yeah, like here we definitely have birch trees right here, as you can see. Um, and yeah, I mean it's just everywhere. So that's going to be how you differentiate it between the south and well southwest of Moscow, right? Um, I swear it gets hilly in some of these locks, but it's kind of hard to see where that happens, to be honest. So yeah, I don't. Maybe it's not that hilly overall, but yeah, we do have birch trees, so that's going to be the distinguishing feature between this and everything we've covered so far. And now we're going to go to the last cluster here, which is the north cluster. And I'll be honest, this is the most unfortunate cluster because it's very rare to get this, but you can get it, and it's not very identifiable, unfortunately. I've noticed a lot of red soil in these kind of locks. Like the soil is very red around here, I feel like. Um, and we do have a lot of birch trees, and it looks very cold. Um, so that could be something with this cluster here. One thing I have noticed for sure is that we have a lot of hogweed. Um, you'll see a lot of this hogweed here, and this is a generally north meta in Russia. So if you see this and you see A-type, maybe you could click there, but do be careful because I've also seen some in like Smolensk, for example, which is right here. So, is it going to be a good meta for you? I'm not sure, but you can take the risk if you would like. But this red soil, I feel like, does happen in a lot of these locks. I'm not really sure why, but I guess not here. But yeah, I would say if you get this, quite unlucky, but most of the time you're going to be clicking southwest of Moscow anyway. So, uh, but yeah, that's pretty much all I have for A-type. If you guys have anything to add in the comments, feel free to do so. And next time we will go on to B-type, so stay tuned for that. But anyways, leave a like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.